Hello everyone, this is Pelipper. Welcome to a new video. In this video, we're going to showcase the battles that I played just a day ago when we finally was able to see our hidden MMR for Season 7. At this point, we're rank 18 and we need 10 more wins in order to get to rank 19. And then for rank 19, you don't need to win a single game to get to rank 20, and then you'll see your hidden MMR. Right, so I had 4 sets remaining at this point, so I need to get to 10 wins, get to rank 19 in the first 3 sets, so that I could see my elo in my next set, right? So I needed to go 10 and 5 within my next 3 sets. Let's see if we're able to do it. And the team that we're gonna be rolling with is Pelipper lead, Vigoroth safe swap with the Medicham in the back as a finisher. I got the inspiration of this team from FPSticks, also a very strong content creator. He's running the same Vigoroth safe swap and Medicham in the back, but he has a Drifblim in the lead instead of Pelipper. I decided to go with Pelipper because I really like the weather ball spam and the flexibility of Pelipper. As you can see, my IVs are not the greatest. My Medicham is also not fully maxed out. I think it's still 1 level away. It's best buddy, but I don't have enough XL candies. But I still win the matchups that you usually win with the Medicham. So I think this is a very solid team. You have double fighter in the back, so that you will almost win every time when you see a double tank team in the back, right? Let's see how we play. So the first battle we have Pelipper against Beedrill. Incredible lead. This is extremely good. I think I'm just gonna farm up a lot of energy here. Let's see, my opponent swapped into Jellicent, so here I go for the Hurricane. What I'm hoping to do is hopefully catch a Shadow Ball on my Vigoroth. Actually, they didn't shield the Hurricane, so at this point I think I could just farm a lot of energy and then throw this Weather Ball right before they get to a second Shadow Ball very safely. So now I have a ton of energy. My opponent actually didn't shield, actually shielded, so I just swap into my Vigoroth and 2 counters take it out. So this is looking extremely good for me now. I have a Weather Ball stored on my Pelipper. I have a Body Slam here to hopefully take the shield. We do take the shield from the Beedrill. They had an obstacle in the back, so there's not much my opponent could do. Because we still have another fighter in the back. We also have a Weather Ball stored. We just need a few counters to take out this obstacle. Okay, so good first game. Next game we have Machamp. Let's see. Also, very good lead, obviously. They're going to Bastiodon. Okay, perfect. We have 2 fighters in the back. I go into Vigoroth just in case they have a Stunfisk in the back. If they have a Stunfisk, my Medicham will do a little better. I swap out a little bit late. I shielded there because I want to make sure that I win switch advantage, right? So that's why I just shielded. And here I'm gonna farm all the way down. I actually didn't charge the Bulldoze so that I could get a little bit more farm. Because I did that, I was able to get 2 body slams against this Machamp, and we either force the shield or this Machamp will go down, right? Let's see, my opponent shields or not. My opponent doesn't shield, so basically my opponent's down to 1 single Pokemon, and it was a Galarian Stunfisk in the back. So it's good that we save Medicham because Medicham will do a little more damage against the Stunfisk. Yep. And we're just gonna no shield everything because we just need to put it in Weather Ball range. My opponent actually goes for a bait, which makes sense because I guess the only win condition for my opponent is to have us shielding the bait, and then somehow they're able to take out our Medicham. But at this point, there isn't really much my opponent can do. They go for the Earthquake, but we're just going to counter down here. My opponent actually surrenders. Okay, so now it's looking good. We're 2-0, but how do I mess this up? Let's see. We still, let's not spoil too much, but let's see if we were able to see our final elo here. Go for the Vigoroth. Okay. Because I had 2 counters in the back to this Dewgong, I just swapped out right away. Maybe I could have stayed in a little bit to get a little bit of farm, but I just decided to swap out right away into my Vigoroth. I did a lot of damage with the body slam. My opponent didn't shield. They had a Sableye in the back. My moves are debuffed right now. Fortunately, my opponent just threw the energy because my Bottles will not do a lot of damage, but this is not looking great. Let's see. Dewgong is pretty good against my team, even though I have 2 fighters in the back. But still, I don't have like a hard answer. And Sableye is very good against my team because Vigoroth doesn't really hit back against a Sableye. And also Medicham is weak to Sableye, right? At this point I actually let it go. I think that was a misplay. I really needed my Pelipper. I really needed my Pelipper so that I could get rid of the debuff from Dewgong. Here I throw just before they get to the Icy Wind to force a shield, or we take out the Dewgong and we don't have to get debuffed. But yeah, like I mentioned, that was a huge misplay, letting that Pelipper go, because now we're debuffed and there's no way that we can get rid of this debuff. And our only win condition here is getting a debuff here with our Psychic, get a defense drop on the opponent Medicham, but we weren't able to do it. And our second win condition is them not shielding the Psychic for whatever reason, but I think my opponent just shields this and goes for their own Psychic to finish us off. Yep. Very good play by my opponent. I guess there wasn't really a win condition at that point. So, very good. Well played by my opponent. So now we're 2-1 for this set, right? We're 2-1. Here we're against this Rumel. This is a very neutral matchup. It all depends on if you can land the Hurricane. What I like to do is not shielding whatever they throw here. Just an Ice Beam. Pelipper can tank 1 move from Rumel. And then I go for a Hurricane. If this lands, I'm going to farm a little bit and then try to catch a move with my Vigoroth, which I do here, I think. Okay, yeah. Catch the Ice Beam perfectly. Vigoroth does have a little bit of bulk to it. It's not the tankiest Pokemon, but it is able to tank a move from this Rumel. Here I throw just before my opponent gets to the next Ice Beam. This will take it out. So they actually came out with Scrafty, so that's very interesting here. We go for a Body Slam here. We'll do a little bit of chip damage. We're doing super effective damage to the Scrafty as well. Scrafty actually went for Power Punch, which will take us out, but we have very good counter in the back to the Scrafty in our Medicham. They actually had a Bastiodon in the back, so this is pretty much game over. My Medicham, they don't have an answer to my Medicham at this point. So, good game. Here we're against Pelipper against Swilus. Okay, this is extremely bad. It kind of beats my entire team. Well, it beats... doesn't really beat my entire team, but it's a very bad lead, right? Because it definitely beats Pelipper extremely well. Here we swap into Vigoroth. They come out with a Frostlass. Again, a very, very hard counter to Vigoroth. And I think I lag a little bit here. Yep, they got to a few Powder Snows before I could react there, so we weren't able to even threaten with the Body Slam. So that's not very good. Here we're going to Pelipper. We're able to tank 1 Avalanche, but if they get to another one, we have to shield. But I have to farm this all the way down. Fortunately, we farm it down just barely. They come out with the Xylus. I go for a little bit of chip damage with our Weather Ball. And then I go into my Medicham, but they had a Jellicent in the back, so they pretty much had perfect counter to me, and I don't really have an answer. They basically have the exact perfect counters, right? Frostlass facing my Vigoroth, and then they have a Jellicent facing my Medicham, so there's really nothing I could do there, which is fine. So now I think that was a 3-2 set. Because we went 3-2 in that set, that means for the next 2 sets, we have to go 7-3. yeah, for the next set we have to go 7 and 3. So for next 2 sets, and we're gonna see if we can if we're able to get 7 wins in these 2 sets. First game we're against Ninetales. Okay, Ninetales goes for Weather Ball here. We go for Weather Ball as well. So this matchup is pretty neutral as well. We both get to our Weather Ball really fast. I actually swap out into Vigoroth because they shielded. I figured I kind of want to share the damage on my safe swap Vigoroth. They actually went for the Side Shock, which is not the correct play in my opinion. I think he should have definitely gone for Weather Ball. It will do more damage, more energy efficient at least. But that's fine. We were able to tank that move. Here the Medicham, this is just a power punch, I believe, which I will let it go. It did a lot of damage. Also, they're ramping up their counter damage. So now I bring back my Pelipper, and I do have almost have a Weather Ball stored. I'm just gonna throw the Weather Ball right away because I don't want to get hit by another power up punch, right? We do take out the Medicham. Turn out they had a Venusaur in the back. Fortunately, we have 2 shields and they only have 1 shield. So this comes down to if we're able to get to the Psychic. Because I don't think Ice Punch will exactly KO, but Psychic will almost certainly KO at this range to this Venusaur. We do have to shield this. Let's see. Okay. I think my opponent tried to catch a move there, but I kind of saw it coming because they were pretty far away from the next Frenzy Plant anyways. We tank this Weather Ball. I'm going to throw an Ice Punch. My opponent doesn't have a residual energy, so I'm going to throw Ice Punch to make the Ninetales just into farm down range. And now I am 1 counter away from Psychic, which I just need to throw the Psychic onto this Venusaur to ensure the victory. Well played to my opponent. Good game. So good start. Here we have Pelipper against Machamp. Again, very good lead. Very, very good lead. Let's see. My opponent is not swapping out. I threw at 6 wing attack because I think if they didn't swap out at 5, they probably will stay in. But they actually made a perfect catch there. So very well played by my opponent. They caught a Weather Ball on Azumarill, which didn't do much damage. Here I'm going to go for a Hurricane, I believe. Yep, I do go for a Hurricane. If my opponent doesn't shield this, I'm going to do tons of damage. My opponent does not shield. That means I'm going to try to catch a move like last time. I do catch a move, and I'm going to farm this Azumarill all the way down. Because they have a Machamp, my Vigoroth is very bad against a Machamp, right? But I should still threaten the health with this Body Slam. It forces my opponent Machamp to throw energy here. And now I can actually bring out Medicham because the Machamp doesn't have much energy. And I could farm this Machamp all the way down, right? Just going to keep farming. This is just a cross chop, which Medicham absolutely tanks it. It doesn't do too much damage. Turn out they had a Ninetales in the back. I'm going to go for an Ice Punch bait. Here I'm not going to shield because now I think my win condition is my Pelipper basically. I'm going to try to get a shield here. And then I just go into my Pelipper. I had a residual energy. That means I will outpace this Ninetales into whatever they could get. Right? Because we have residual energy, we get to the Weather Ball before they get to the Ice Weather Ball. Here, I believe I just let this Pelipper go, right? Okay, actually shield. This is also fine. It just ensures that our Pelipper can win this matchup. They come out with a Machamp trying to snipe us down. But fortunately, we farmed the Machamp down, and now we throw the Weather Ball to KO this Alolan Ninetales. Well played. GG to my opponent. So now we're 2-0 for that set. Next up, we're against Mew. So now I'm thinking it's probably Asian Milkman's team, which has a Scrafty in the back. And if it does have a Scrafty, then it's looking pretty good for me, right? Because my backline absolutely destroys the Scrafty. Here we go for a wettable. My opponent doesn't shield. I think I'm just gonna double shield here. Oh, actually I counted and I noticed that my opponent couldn't possibly get to a wild charge there. So I just no shield the surf. It doesn't do too much damage. Here we go for a wettable. We'll go for a second wettable just to chip down this Skarmory a little more. And then they do they go for Sky Attack here? They go for a Sky Attack. So I'm just gonna farm up a little bit more. I'm gonna throw here before they get to the next Sky Attack. I think they're one air slash away. Oh, they actually got it right there. So I'm not gonna shield this. I'm looking to farm down with my Medicham here all the way down. Farm down this Skarmory all the way. And they probably have a come back with Mew. Makes sense. I go for a nice punch here to force a shield from my opponent. My opponent does shield, and now I go into my Pelipper. I don't reach the wettable. That is very, very scary. I cannot shield here because Mew has a move, and Mew Wild Charge will do more damage than the Scrafty's Foul Play, right? Here I'm gonna farm just enough, go for a nice punch, and I'm gonna farm all the way down to get another Ice Punch. We still have a shield, so we just need to CMP tie here. We lose the CMP tie, but it's fine because we do have a shield, and now we ensure the victory with the Ice Punch that we throw here. So now we're 3-0 for this set, and we're looking pretty good. We just need 4 more wins in the next 7 games in order to see our rank for the day. Whiscash, this is a very good lead. Depending on if they go for the Blizzard, if they land a bait, or if they hit us with the Blizzard, this matchup will be very different. Let's see. We go for the wettable around 1 mud shot before they get to the Blizzard. Here we go for another wettable to force a shield. And now my opponent throws energy here. I thought it was probably a bait, so I actually don't shield this, and it ended up being a bait, which meant wasted energy for my opponent. Here, I made a wrong swap here. I definitely should have gone into Medicham because Vigoroth does not appreciate the power punches from the Scrafty, right? And I might end up losing this matchup. So that was a misplay by me for sure. Yep, and then Scrafty farms me all the way down. Very, very bad. I do have a wettable stored, so I'm just going to get rid of this Scrafty with a lot of energy. He doesn't have any shields, right? Yeah, so this is looking very good. Turned out they had a Hypno in the back, so I really wish I could have avoided this Hypno matchup with my Medicham, but this is still fine. I'm 2 shields up, and I don't think my opponent can do much. They actually go into the Whiscash. The Whiscash had energy, so I'm just going to throw the wettable here, and I'm going to counter down with my Medicham before my opponent could do anything there. Here I'm going to go for Ice Punch. I actually think Psychic will do a lot more damage, so I should have probably gone for the Psychic here, but at this point it doesn't really matter. I have almost 2 wettables on my Pelipper, so there isn't really much my opponent can do. I just go for the Psychic here, and my opponent concedes the match. So good game, well played to my opponent. Here we're against Azumarill again. I'm gonna go for a straight Hurricane. If they shield, they shield, but I will tank the first move. This could be a Play Rough, or this could be a Nice Beam. We tank a Nice Beam a little better than Play Rough. Here I'm gonna go for the Hurricane. It'll do a lot of damage to Azumarill if they don't shield, and they don't shield, which is very great for us. Here I might go for a catch again, but my opponent is too smart here, holding the energy, but they threw it anyways when they saw the Vigoroth, probably looking to chip us down a little bit, which is smart. And then they come out with Altaria, which is very good for me. This team's purpose is definitely baiting out something like an Altaria, a Flyer that will be very bad for the Medicham, right? So now we see this here. We actually force a shield here because Vigoroth is an absolute beast. with the body slam. Got to 3 body slams, forces a shield from Altaria. We still have a weather ball stored on our Pelipper. I should definitely throw right away. Oh, I didn't throw right away. Okay, that is a huge misplay. Because now my opponent probably doesn't shield against this weather ball. I should have thrown the weather ball right away instead of fake CMP tie. We got the shield anyways, so that's pretty nice. And now I think I'm looking to farm down this Altaria, right? My opponent actually swapped out into Meganium. That means I'm just gonna go into the Medicham. I saved a weather ball, right? This Azumarill doesn't have any energy stored. I make a misplay here. I definitely should not have gone for the Ice Punch. Psychic will do a lot more damage, but in hindsight, I guess it's not the worst because we forced our opponent to throw some energy here, a Frenzy Plant, and now I just farm down this Meganium. Their Azumarill doesn't have much energy, so if it's Altaria, I will use the Weather Ball right away because I don't want to tank any. I don't want to tank any Dragon Breaths, and it's a Azumarill. I have to throw this Weather Ball. Azumarill is getting close to an Ice Beam, but he's still a little bit far away, and 2 more wing attacks was able to take it out, and we got a 5-0 with this team. So now I feel very confident. In my next set, I just need a 2-3 in order to get to rank 19. And here we see a Venusaur lead. They're going to Stunfisk. Alright, what could possibly be in the back, right? What could possibly be in the back? We've seen this team so many times. It's a team that I absolutely do not enjoy. But whenever they have a Venusaur lead and they swap into a Galarian Stunfisk, there's usually a Bastiodon in the back. Here, we're going to Medicham against a Stunfisk. We don't need to shield anything and we farm all the way down. And against Venusaur, we can just go for a Psychic or an Ice Punch here. We'll do a lot of damage. I should have probably gone for the Psychic because I wasn't going to get to 2 Ice Punch. But my opponent actually don't shield. And now I just come back with Pelipper. I go for the Weather Ball, force a shield from this Venusaur while we take it out. Right? My opponent actually let the Venusaur go down. And then we have a second fighter against their Bastiodon, so it's game over. This team is built to beat the double tank team. So now we just need 1 more win in my next 4 games in order to hit rank 19. Alright, Talonflame, very good lead. Very, very good lead. I think I'm going to throw here. Yep. So this is when they got to 3 Incinerates when they have a Brave Bird. I'm going to respect the Brave Bird. They could bait us with a Flame Charge. They do bait us, but it's fine. They actually come out with an Umbreon. I do have a very good response in my Vigoroth. My counter will do a lot of damage to this Umbreon. Right. I'm going to throw the Body Slam here. And I should be able to tank one more. I should be able to tank one more Foul Play from this Umbreon. Yep. I need to go for Body Slams right away, and then I should be able to farm all the way down. He's 3 Snarls away from getting to the next Foul Play. 2, 3. Okay, so he died with the Foul Play, but he wasn't able to get it off, and that's very good for us. They actually had him a champ in the back, so it pretty much means that they're hard countered, right? I have Water against their Talonflame. I have Medicham against a Machamp, so that's game over with this team. So now I have all the wins I needed to hit rank 19, and these are games I did when I was on Twitch stream. So I just played whatever my viewers suggested instead of using this team. I think we played a bunch of random teams with very spicy Pokemon. So let's just see what we're rolling with in this team. Because at this point, for my next 3 games, I don't care if I win them or not. I'm going to hit rank 19 anyways. So, yeah. Let's see what I bring out this time. Ooh, Aerodactyl. Okay, that's very interesting. So, it's essentially the same team, but I changed my Pelipper into an Aerodactyl. Right? This looks so fun. It's actually a single moved non-shadow. It only has 65 CP as well, but it looks pretty fun. Here we're against Azumarill. I had to swap out right into my save swap Vigoroth. They have a Sableye in the back, which is not the best response to my Vigoroth. I could actually get switch advantage back if I wanted to, but I think I should have gone for the switch advantage, to be honest. But I make a misplay here by not taking switch advantage, but getting the shields, which is also fine. So now we have shield advantage. I'm going to farm down with my Aerodactyl here. If I had a Rock Slide, this would be so much better. Rock Slide does have the stab, and it will do a little bit more damage. Unfortunately, we only have the Iron Head. My opponent Azumarill throws a move right away. Should be a nice beam. Yep. But now my opponent Azumarill is out of energy, right? I'm going to swap into my Medicham right away. He has one more bubble, two more bubble. Okay. So here we're against the Talonflame. If I just want switch advantage, this game would be so much easier because my Talonflame, my Aerodactyl will absolutely handle this Talonflame, right? Let's see how we do. I went for straight Ice Punches, and now I'm just gonna farm down this Talonflame. Opponent goes for the Flame Charge, goes for another Flame Charge, so now he's out of energy, and we should be able to take it out with one Rock Throw with our Aerodactyl. And now they have a Azumarill, they got to an Ice Beam, but now they're completely out of energy, and they need 5 more bubbles in order to get to the next X Beam. So I just have to rely on my Rock Throws taking out this Azumarill. 4, 5. Okay, they got to the move right before they died. Very lucky, but we got the win. Next game, I think we're running with something new again. Drifblim, okay. We're running with Drifblim, Marshtomp, and Medicham. That is very, very interesting. It's very cool. So we were against Bastiodon. We safe swap into Medicham this time. They come out with a Deoxys, so it probably shows that they have a Victory Bell in the back, right? Like almost 100% that they have a Victory Bell in the back. So that means I really have to win switch advantage if I could. If my opponent had a Psycho Boost here, I might not be able to win switch advantage. But they actually just kept throwing Rock Slides. And it's giving me a chance to take back switch advantage here. So now I'm just going to go for another Ice Punch. If my opponent doesn't shield, I'm going to farm it all the way down. My opponent does shield. I'm going to get to the next Ice Punch. This forces my opponent to shield again, right? Let's see if my opponent shields. Opponent doesn't shield. I'm just going to shield here and farm this Deoxys down. I take back switch advantage. Marshtomp is very solid against their Bastiodon. And Drifblim is a very good answer to this Victory Bell that we expected to see, right? Okay, we go into our Drifblim against Victory Bell. They swap between Bastiodon, we go into Marshtomp. What I'm going to do here is farm a ton of energy. I don't need to shield anything here. I believe I go for a Surf right here. And now I'm just going to try to Mud Shots all the way down this Bastiodon. Come out with a Return. Which will do a lot of damage to the Victory Bell. Can we get the return? It's a purified Marshtomp, so return will do a lot of damage. We do land the return, so boom to the Victory Bell. And Marshtomp is a Victory Bell counter confirmed. Mutt Boy is a Victory Bell counter. Very nice. Next up, okay, so my viewer suggested Kindra, so I'm rolling with a triple water team. Kindra, Pelipper, and Empoleon. And we see a lead Empoleon. This feels like Ultra League, right? This feels like an Ultra League matchup that we see a lot, which is very fun to see. My opponent went for the Drill Pack. I'm going to farm just before my opponent gets to another Drill Pack. I'm going to go for the Outrage, which should one-hit KO this Empoleon at this point. They come out with a Cresselia. I'm going to go for an Octazooka. Could argue that I should have gone for the Outrage, but I went for the Octazooka, hoping for attack fail, but we didn't get the attack fail, and I'm gonna farm. We did a lot of Dragon Breath's damage. The Cresselia is at half HP, so this is actually really good. Here I believe I go into Empoleon. So we do have triple water, but all three of our water type only take neutral damage from grass type. So it's very interesting synergy that we have. Even though we're triple water, but they all have subtyping that prevents us from getting hit by grass type, right? I'm gonna farm all the way down, shield once against this Cresselia. Actually had a Talonflame in the back, so this is absolutely incredible to see. We have triple water, so that means their Talonflame is essentially useless against my team, right? Absolutely incredible. Here I go into Pelipper. All I need to do is get to the next Weather Ball. Even if this is a bait, they still need one more Incinerate for the Brave Bird. So all I need to do is get to the Weather Ball here before they register and get the Brave Bird and take this game. So a very good game. So we just had a 10-0 for 2 sets in a row. Even with random teams as well at the end. So now we're ranked 19. I believe I actually just did very crazy stuff. I'm just going to showcase a few that I think will be very interesting to see. Here we get a 5-0. I'm going to rank up to rank 19. That means this is a free set. So I ended up deciding to play with the Boldore. It's a very crappy Pokemon, but it looks very funny. So we're just going to go with that with the Medicham and the Victory Bell in the back, actually. We saw a very bad lead here against the Stunfisk. We do have to shield. Well, we don't shield the Rock Slide. They come out with the Cresselia. They probably farm us all the way down here. Yep. Okay. So now I go into my Boldore, and I'm gonna farm this Cresselia all the way down. Unfortunately, we're a grass typing, and we're a rock typing, so we're weak to grass, and we don't have the steel typing, so this is looking very bad. I have to shield this, and then I have to go for a Rock Slide bait. Boldore does learn Bulldoze, so my opponent might think that I have a ground type move. But even though it's just a Rock Slide, it kind of forces my opponent to shield. I only have single move. As you guys are going to see, next game I actually do get a second move on my Boldore, and it will look a little bit better. Here we're against a Pelipper. So at this point, we could have actually won this game if we had a second move. Well, we had a win condition. Not necessarily we're going to win, but we do have a win condition. Just farming down this Pelipper and then go for a Bulldoze on the Stunfisk. I'm not sure if we could do it because I think my opponent had 2 Weather Balls here, so I'm just going to concede this matchup by letting the Weather Ball go. Next game, we are going to use Boldore again. We actually played Boldore for the entirety of the set, I remember, and we went 1-4, so it wasn't the best Pokemon. I lost a lot of Pokemon encounters. Here we're against Hypno, pretty decent lead. It all depends on if my opponent has a move that, if my opponent has maybe Focus Blast, that will be very bad, 1-hit KO. But I don't think it even needs to throw the Focus Blast to KO our Boldore. I'm just gonna sacrifice my Boldore here. It's just a Fire Punch, so they actually go for another Fire Punch here, and I'm gonna swap. If we survive, we do survive. So Boldore does have a little bulk to it. That was pretty incredible to see. They come out with the Azumarill. This is a little unfortunate. I wanted to see this Azumarill with my Victory Bell, right? But Medicham has Psychic, so it definitely handles this Azumarill just fine. I'm gonna shield here. Let's see, Play Rough. We do shield the Play Rough, so that will almost 1-hit KO us. I could probably 2-shield my Victory Bell as well, but I decided to just let my Medicham finish here. I was able to farm the Azumarill all the way down. I have a lot of energy, so let's see what my opponent has. My opponent came out with the Hypno. I'm just going to go for the Ice Punch. It will almost KO. if they don't shield. They do shield, so I'm thinking they must have something weak to my Medicham, right? I go for a sack swap into the Boldor. Essentially, we got another shield. And here I'm going to farm down with my Victory Bell. Let's see. Yep, my opponent had a Altaria. This is not looking good at all. Not looking good at all. I wasn't going to get to the Acid Spray, so I'm just going to go for a Leaf Blade to do as much chip damage as possible. I do have an Ice Punch, fortunately, which should almost KO this Altaria. We do have to shield the Sky attack. So that getting off that Leaf Blade was very important, even though it didn't do too much damage. It allowed our Medicham to counter down. And then we see the Hypno come back. We get to another Ice Punch to finish off that Hypno. So very good game to my opponent. Unfortunately, we win 1-4. I think it probably made us our rating go down a little bit, but that's fine. I think we started around 2267, around that range. I don't remember the exact number, but that's where we started. So now we're just gonna go for the climb all the way back to Legend again. That was a lot of fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in my next video.